Hey, good evening, everybody. It is Thursday. It's what I like to call Little Friday. It is Thursday. It is October the 9th, and this is 270 weather. Weather for the 270 area code and beyond. I'm Chris Allen. Thanks for tuning in on this Thursday evening. I'm glad that you could join in. It's been a beautiful day. I mean, irregardless of the lack of rain, the continued drought situation, and all of that, um it's just simply gorgeous, and we're going to have a lot more very gorgeous days. But that's not the problem, and it doesn't tell the whole story. The story is we have a tremendous lack of rain, even though we had some rain the other day. Wasn't much, and it was good to get that. As you'll see with the drought monitor update, it didn't help us out that much. For some, it did. For others, like us in southern Kentucky, we're still very much in a drought. And unfortunately, as I've been hinting around for the last several days about this, the drought is only going to get worse before it gets any better. So let's get to it, show you what's going on here. For today, though, we had a high of 73 here in Bowling Green. Just 73, only 2 degrees below the normal of 75. That's about where you want it. 73, 74, 75. That's pretty much perfect. The low this morning in Bowling Green here at the airport was 49. But some of you got as chilly, and we'll check the Mesonet data here in a moment. Some of you got down into the low to mid 40s for low temperatures this morning, and it looks like you'll probably do that again tomorrow morning. Of course, there was no precipitation, no rainfall over the past 24 hours. Radar dry as a bone, as you might expect. Nothing out there, nothing to be found, searching. This thing's going to scan and scan and scan, and it's not going to find anything for many days to come. If you have not heard, I teased this last night. It appears that it may take 10 to 12 to maybe even up to 15 days before we see rain again. And no, I am not kidding. I wish that was some kind of a terrible joke, but nope. That is not the case. Okay, this is not what I want to show you. Where is it? Okay. This is not, don't worry about that. That is not rainfall. I know you got excited there for a moment, didn't you? You thought, "Oh, look, there's rainfall." Okay, now I know where I'm at. This is some new stuff, and I'm trying to get used to it here. Let's go to the drought update. So here we go. Now, this is the new update as of this morning. Was issued about 7:30, and it's issued only once a week, every Thursday. As you can see, most of the Bowling Green, Southern Kentucky area is staying in the moderate drought category. Right up here at the top of the screen. I hope you can see that. That tan color all through here, moderate drought. That's where we were last week. North of us, there is abnormally dry conditions. And then that black area that got most of the rain the other day, they're no longer in a drought or dry situation. They've had more than enough rain, and it's okay. Things are there. Okay. Down here toward South Fulton, Tennessee, toward Union City, close to even Dyersburg, that area. That is a level 2 severe drought, just in that one little spot down here, southwest of Murray, Kentucky. But we are going to continue to be in the um, moderate drought. But here's the thing, with the days and days and days, as I just mentioned, that are coming, that are going to be dry, I expect all of this to turn into this kind of gold shaded area, which would be severe drought, and maybe some areas by next Thursday's update goes back into the extreme drought category. I don't see how it wouldn't, because it's just going to be a very long time before we get any kind of rain that is going to put a dent in this drought. There could be a shower here and there that pops up, maybe, but that's it. There's nothing else that's really going to come in and help us out. Here's a look at precipitation, the forecast 6 to 10 days out. And this is leaning dry. That kind of brown, tan color, all of this area, leaning dry. We go out 8 to 14 days. It maybe improves just a little bit. That's why I said earlier 10 to 12 to maybe 15 days before we see rain. 3 to 4 weeks out, it doesn't really know for sure. For the month, we're going to remain dry. For the seasonal, dry. Everything is leaning dry. Now let's go to temperatures. And all of this data, by the way, is from the Climate Prediction Center. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, leaning above normal. Now, it feels good right now. We had a nice day. Below normal temperature, just slightly. But in the coming days, temperatures are going to warm up and we go back into the red, which means above normal temperatures. Let's go out 8 to 14 days and it relaxes a little bit. 3 to 4 weeks, maybe a little bit more. So we still have, though, a long way to go before we're going to see things getting better. All right, I'm going to go to the GFS model, and I'm going to go to composite reflectivity. I did this last night, and I had somebody ask me, you know, how reliable is that GFS model? It's a long range model, and it can go out, 10, 12, 15 days or more. And it can give us a pretty good idea of maybe what's coming. And most of the time, it is pretty reliable. So I'm hoping in this case, and it's loading the data, that it's going to give us something that's going to point to maybe some rain. Well, it's still loading. It must have been a lot of data loading up there. It's taking a little bit. Let me go, let me try. The NAM only goes out so far, but it should give us something to look at until the other data loads up. Okay, so here it comes. So here we go into tomorrow, the 10th. Nothing. Here we go into late day tomorrow, Friday afternoon. And now we're going into Saturday, the 11th. You can see the time up here at the very top. Hopefully you can see that. Now we're going into Sunday, the 12th. And that's it. That's as far as it goes because the North American model doesn't go out as far as the GFS. So, okay, looks like it may have loaded. We'll see. Gonna put it into motion here. And, here's the thing. While the GFS tends to be accurate and pretty close to, something that you can hang your hat on, especially this time of the year, it's more reliable in the fall and winter, the colder months, than it is any other time, I think. But again, look up here at the top. This is the date and the time. So you'll get to see this as I move it. So I'm going to move it through the weekend. Here we go into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay. So now, unlike last night, there is something that tries to work in here by, say, Thursday of next week. Maybe a little bit of a system that may produce some rain, but it looks like it doesn't last long. And from the shape of this, it looks like it's just going to be maybe a few scattered showers. So that is a little different than what I was looking at last night. Okay. Here we go at the end of next week. Maybe some moisture out to the east of us. Here's the following weekend, something, a little something, not much. What I want to see is the whole map covered and it sticks around for several days. These little passing little blips. Whoa, there was something there. This is on the 21st. Yeah. Okay, so this looks a little more promising when we start to see the yellows in here instead of just the green. But again, there's no guarantee this far out that we will get that rain. But again, it falls directly in line with what I've been telling you, that it could take 10, 12, maybe up to 15 days before we get a good chance of rain in here. So let's continue. Let's go on a little bit further. Here we go on the 23rd, 24th, 25th of October, and that's as far as it goes. That's 384 hours from now. So there are some indications that maybe something comes in, but I'm still not going to hold out too much hope that it's going to change for the better. It's just, it is what it is. Um, and we just have to endure and get through it. But it's going to be terribly dry, and the danger of fires is going to get very high because of the dry area, the dry grass, weeds, leaves, all of that. And with very little, if any, chance of rain coming anytime soon. All right, let's go to the Kentucky Mesonet. Here we see current temperatures 50s, 60s across the state. 62 here in Bowling Green, here at 6:51 p.m. on this Thursday evening. Look at that 49. That's down in Burkesville. You're already in the 40s, but your sensor is next to and down near the Cumberland River. So it reads cooler than everybody else. There's a few 50s back in Russellville and Elkton at this hour. How warm did it get today? Not very. Upper 60s, low 70s, as predicted. How chilly was it this morning? Check it out. Look at that, 38. Again, the caveat with that particular sensor is that it's near the river. It is kind of down where it's going to be cooler as far as altitude. Um, it's at 559 feet above sea level, so it's kind of low to the ground, and it's always going to read cooler down there in Burkesville. But all you got to do is go up the road, and it was 50 for a low this morning in Clinton County. See 40s, around 50 in Bowling Green. Yeah, it's first time this season we've had low temperatures in the 40s. It's going to happen again tonight. And of course, no rainfall, zip zero nada. How about winds today? They've been breezy from the north. They're about 5 to 10 right now. Um, the peak gusts for today have been 20 to 25, almost 30 miles an hour sometime earlier today. Moisture, boy, it's dry. Dew points are in the 40s, and that's why it feels so nice, and that's good, but it also is way, way dry. And with low dew points and humidity levels, with everything drying out like it is, um, high fire danger, and that is going to be the case as we go through time. All right, let's move on to the maps, and here we go. Here's Bowling Green. Here's this evening. Not much happening. A couple of little inverted little doodads here, but it's not really going to produce anything. There may be a little patchy fog in a couple of spots early in the morning. Here is 7 a.m. for your Friday, 1 p.m., high pressure directly overhead. Little stripe of some light showers out ahead of this next front. But these fronts, we're going to watch fronts try to work in here. And like pretty much happened all summer long, high pressure is just going to scrub out, really just eradicate any good rain chances that might try to come in. That's unfortunate. So here we go, 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. Here's Saturday morning, a little bit more in the way of fog. Here comes the cold front, but notice there's no rain associated with it. That's because high pressure just eats it up. The front will come through, kinda, Saturday evening, then kind of falls apart as we get into Sunday. Now, look at this low pressure system. I talked about this last night off of the coastal Carolinas. It's going to go in to the Delmarva region, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and then on up toward Philadelphia, New York City. And it's going to produce a lot of rain and wind, almost like a nor'easter, and it may become a nor'easter. But none of that rain is going to make it this far west. So we lose out again. Here's Monday morning as we warm up even more, and here comes another front. But watch what happens. Monday morning, Monday evening, Tuesday morning, really nothing changes. Do you see any rain? Nope, I don't either. Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, nothing. This is what I mean. These fronts can make a run at us, but none of them are going to help us out with rain. I know. I am sorry. Sorry as I can be. I wish I could change it. Here's a look at the model blender. Pleasant temperatures right where we should be for this point in October, mid 70s to 80 on Monday, 81 maybe Tuesday. But then we continue to see a return to 70s for the middle and end of next week, and the next weekend getting even cooler. So that's if you're into the cool weather, which I am, then it looks like this trend is going to continue to bring us some really, really nice weather. But if you need rain, which most of us do, it's not there. It's just not there, and it's not going to be there for a while. But you know who's there when you need them? R&R Controls. When you need them for HVAC services, preventative maintenance, which they're doing a lot of right now, installation, new or renovations, commercial controls, programming, and maintenance, plus generator service. If you need a generator or you've got a generator that needs servicing, R&R Controls is the company to do that for you. They've been doing a lot of this stuff, especially the HVAC stuff, since 1985. 40 years of trusted service with R&R Controls. 270-777-2024. Again, that's 270-777-2024. With R&R Controls, you'll never be without. And give them a call and get something set up, okay? Because you will not regret it. Because winter's coming on, and like I mentioned last night, if you were watching, just because we're getting a prolonged Indian summer or end of summer with the warmer than normal temperatures and the lack of rain does not mean that at some point the switch is going to get flipped and we're going to all of a sudden get cold and it's going to be winter, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. I just don't know when. I wish I knew, but it's going to happen. All right, you guys, that's it for this Thursday evening. Thank you, as always, for watching 270 Weather. I'll see you in the morning, bright and early, on Sunrise at 6 a.m. on WNKY, NBC, and CBS 40, then again at 9 a.m., and then again at noon. I'm pretty much on all morning long. That's okay. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.